Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Sawhook SitDowns. Tonight we are joined by a very special guest I've been waiting to talk to for a long time. We got my man Spence here, aka JTRB1 on Twitter. What's good, man? You came onto the scene pretty recently, and you've been really doing some awesome stuff with content and all that. I've been a big fan of your account. I mean, I put you in Follow Friday lists like every week. We interact a shit tons. I'm glad to actually finally sit down and talk to you, dude.
Yeah, this is freaking awesome, dude. I've been really loving that the past month or so. I've been able to hop on a bunch of podcasts and other people's live streams and stuff. And this is a totally different environment that I'm not used to. So I'm really excited for this.
I was sick, man. So, like, what do you mean by that? Like, you're used to doing more like shows that have like show sheets and all that jazz, or like what do you mean?
No, like none at all. Like you said, I got into the scene in January. And
okay. I know what you
yeah,
mean.
prior to last month, I had never done like anything like this.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. I mean, I joined in just last August. I started doing social media for Dynasty Nerds, and that's when I really started to like actually see I could start to like get a following a little bit from like putting my takes and stuff out there. And then I really started to run with it in like November, December. But I've been having a blast doing it. It's been awesome.
I know this is supposed to be like kind of like where I'm saying stuff about me, but like what does that entail
like a conversation
for you? Yeah, what does that entail for you?
So I got brought on for them as an intern back in last August, and I started off just going on to like kind of like organize their calendar and kind of do all that kind of jazz. And then from there, I started tweeting out their articles every morning. So like our leading editor, Dennis, shout out Dennis. Dennis is an awesome dude. We have a tool we use called Asana, ASANA, and it's like a to-do list kind of thing for like an editorial calendar and all that jazz. But we have one for the social media calendar that pretty much only Dennis and I use. And every morning he just he has like the dates of like when the articles are getting posted. So I just go in every morning whenever I wake up, see what day articles are supposed to go out. I go into Hootsuite, which is like a social media like scheduling platform kind of thing. You can share to like multiple platforms with, and I schedule them to Twitter and Facebook, and then I do that. And then every morning for Dynasty Nerds, because they're like my main account, like they're like my baby. I love Dynasty Nerds Twitter. It's like my passion. I try to schedule like 3 to 4 pieces of content throughout the day, like every like 3 hours or so. Like I usually will post something like right then, something at like 3, something or like 5-ish, and then something around like 7 or 8 o'clock. Stuff like that, just like questions to the community and all that jazz, stuff like that. And then I kind of just go from there and just post whatever content I want throughout the day, interact with the community, all that jazz. It's super fun. I love doing it, especially because I'm sure you can relate to this. I mean, as someone who's starting out, sometimes when you put questions and stuff out there to the community, it's great to try to get like a lot of responses and replies for certain things to like gather information. So like when you're starting out smaller, like I was a few months ago, and like, I mean, like you're growing a shit ton now. Like we both have pretty good following. So like when you first were starting, you know what I mean? Like if you put out a poll, like you wouldn't get a lot of stuff quick. But like with Dynasty Nerds, it's great because I can post like a poll, for example, and it'll get like 300 votes within like 2 minutes. So like it's really fun to have a platform to like ask questions so open-ended to the community and get so many replies and stuff. It's just a lot of fun to play with. And just big shout out to the whole Nerds team. Dennis, Jared, Garrett Price, Rich, all those dudes. They're awesome people, and I love working with them. They're really nice guys. But yeah, man. So I'm curious to how you got started in the space. I remember I've been following you for a while. Like right when you first got started, your account was just JTRB1, and your profile pictures changed. It used to just be Jonathan Taylor, and didn't your profile used to say that you were a burner account?
Yeah, it was a burner. Yeah.
Yeah, so like at first I didn't think that you were like a new person. I thought that you were a burner of a bigger account, because when I first came up on you had like 30 followers, and it said JTRB1, and it was a burner account. So I thought it was like somebody who was like really relevant in the space, who loved Jonathan Taylor and was coming on just to like shit post Jonathan Taylor tweets. But obviously that's not the case.
No, that would have been hilarious though.
It would have been hilarious.
I hope someone does that now. I hope someone like does it to me. I don't know. That would be something hilarious.
I might do that.
Or maybe I can do it now. Maybe I could actually do that now.
You could, man. You can fully embrace your Jonathan Taylor like background and upbringing and try to like really just go for it. You have a sick by the way, like at JTRB1 is kind of fun, especially for like fantasy Twitter. Like that's pretty sick. I feel like you can do that with a lot of players actually that I'm thinking about it. Because I'm sure those usernames aren't really taken, but I really like that. But Yeah, I'm kind of interested in like what made you want to make like a burner from your personal, I guess, to start doing fantasy stuff, and what kind of stuff you're working on. I think you were launching a podcast, correct?
Yeah, it's called the Fantasy Weather Show. It's
Yeah,
with
that looks
me
sick.
and Matty Two Frosty over at League Winners and Ryan Pros FF, who's
I
under
love that
Dynasty
dude.
Vipers. Yeah, I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, I love that, bro. Seriously, if you guys ever want guests, I would love to come on and do some even like more consistent work with you guys because I love everyone involved with that. So if you're ever looking for some collabs, let me know. I'd love to come
Yeah,
on.
we're not even. Well, I don't want to speak on what they're prepared to do,
Oh, for
but
sure, man.
we're not even like set on exactly how we're gonna like do the landscape of it all. You know, like some people have like they're a dynasty podcast, some are like redraft, some are DFS, some are rookies only. So we wanted it to be kind of broad, like fantasy. The name is just fantasy. It's not like Dynasty Nerds obviously has non-dynasty content, but
Yeah.
like if you just looked at the name, like you wouldn't really know that. So I'm not sure exactly where we're gonna go with it, but so the first few episodes will probably be trying to figure that out, and then afterwards, I'm sure we're gonna try to bring on like all the guests we can.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, I just started a podcast a couple months ago. I with Three Coast Sports. We're only on episode like 10 or so, like barely getting started.
Yeah,
And I kind of relate to that. We don't really know exactly where we land still because we're barely getting like any listeners per show. I mean, I feel like as fantasy shows go, I think it's good, like what we're doing right now, to try to get established before the season starts. Because when the season starts, you really want to start pumping out the good stuff because people will be listening. I'm trying personally for our brand. We're trying to do a good blend, like focus on dynasty more in the off season and then redraft stuff in the season because that's kind of what fantasy is. I mean, like what kind of dynasty angles can you really cover in season anyway? Like it's mostly redraft at that point anyway, because you're covering week
yeah,
to week, like who's doing well and all that. But yeah, man, I'm really excited for that. I love everybody involved over there. I interact with all those guys and especially you a ton, who are doing that show. So I think that'll be awesome for sure. I might have to be a weekly listener of that one.
yeah. That's just something That's something that's so tough, man. There's so many awesome. I've met so many awesome people in this community,
Same.
and like I swear everyone has a podcast, and it's so hard to
Yeah, that's
keep up with
crazy.
everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really tough. I'm not gonna be. I'm not a. I don't know what you want to call it, like a poser or whatever. I haven't tuned into your podcast, but I'm gonna check it
Oh
out.
no.
No, but listen,
No,
I'm
for
gonna. I
sure.
swear. But the only a few of them I regularly would tune into. So I think it's definitely one of the hardest things to immerse yourself in this community.
Oh no, I totally agree. And I was gonna say the same thing. It's like I'm definitely guilty of not consuming the community's content as much as I should be doing, or as much as people like a lot of other people do. I'm guilty of just falling back into the same podcast routine. I listen to the Fantasy Footballers podcast every pretty much every episode they put out, and that's
Yep.
I'd say that takes up about 85 to 90% of my fantasy content I consume as far as auditory. I mean, I'm on Twitter literally constantly. I mean, I run my personal Twitter. I make content for myself. I write all for myself and do stuff for other brands. Then I manage Dynasty Nerd social media. I manage Prediction Strike social media, and then Scores and Stats social media. So like, I am all over this bitch. So like,
Yeah.
I'm constantly consuming stuff in that aspect. So as far as like what people are tweeting, and I try to be pretty supportive in that aspect, like people's stuff, commenting and on doing all that, and engaging. But like you said, like I feel like the podcasting thing is really tough right now. And I feel like I don't even know exactly the direction I want to go in with all the podcasts and stuff. Because like I feel like if it sucks, but like I feel like if you try really hard with a podcast for a year and stay consistent, you don't see like more than 10 listeners a podcast or more consistently, like should you be making a podcast full time or like trying to rebrand or like it's just really
Invest your
complicated. Like you
time
said,
into something else.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like it's so tough to break out when the field is so oversaturated that it's kind of interesting to find your niche and grow a consistent audience of listeners.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things about like guests is that's something that'll elevate listeners episode to episode, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that's like why the like doing this, you know what I mean? Like I'm not really I don't feel like anybody, but there is like 1,000 followers, and so some of them might listen or watch this. So it's like that's something that like is boosting this, you know what I mean? And then same with the fantasy weather show. There's 3 co-hosts, so it's like, you might see more people because there's 3 people worth of followers and stuff like that. So the whole community aspect of it is interesting. I was actually just talking to Smitty. If you've interacted with him at all,
I
he's
feel like I
like
have.
bigger on YouTube. I was telling him, I was like, I think that the thing about this community right now is that it's a large portion creators and not like digesters of information. So
Yeah.
like come season time, like you were saying, it's like peak performance time. I think that's when it's really going to start to show. You'll start to really see growth. Hopefully, like when you put out your articles and your rankings and your takes and all that. Like, I mean, I wasn't here last year. You said you started in August, so you probably have better
Yeah.
information on it. But I'm
Yeah,
hoping
I
that
was a
that'll
baby
be the
though.
case.
Like last season, I mean, I really wasn't starting to get started with content until like January or February.
Mm.
So like writing articles and like actually consistently doing that was like February or March. So like a lot of it, I mean, I hope to see some good growth during the season. Because I value, like I said, I listen to fantasy footballers a lot, and they've really molded the way I view fantasy from like their lens of takes and analysis and the way they do things. And they're a redraft focused show, but they also hit some dynasty angles. And I feel like I align myself with that, or at least I feel like I do. But right now, I mean, I play a lot of dynasty, so I feel like I want to be like a true mix 50-50 a lot of the time. But in season, I feel like around come July or August, I'll definitely will be diving more into redraft. I feel like doing mock drafts, early ADP values, stuff like that, breakouts, bust sleepers, all that jazz. Like I feel like I might actually consider trying to really grind out a like draft guide of some sort, stuff like that. Like I really want to get into the nitty gritty and try to see what happens in redraft season. Because like you said, I mean, there's a lot more consumers in the community during the
Oh
redraft
yeah,
time. Because that's
100%.
when a giant chunk of the fantasy community is playing. Like you said, I feel like a lot of dynasty players are involved in the fantasy community, whatever that means necessarily. Because I feel like the pool of dynasty players is, I don't know, maybe less than 10% of redraft players as a whole, because there's so many casual redraft players. I mean, completely throwing out number, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there's so many consumers compared to in redraft compared to dynasty, and I feel like it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of stats and growth and all that jazz comes during September, October, November kind of time.
100%. And I don't know if you're on Clubhouse, but I
Have a
was.
little bit.
Yeah, okay. It's really an awesome resource. It's only iPhone though, so but it's coming to Android soon. But anyways, I first got on that kind of a little head starty. And I was able to interact with like a bunch of awesome people and just to talk about like football in general. Like I was able to talk with Darius Butler, which was super sweet, and Chris
That's cool.
Beastie was in there, and I've talked with him like many times on there. And DFS, I think, is like actually, if you really want to
Yeah,
hit
he's
the
a good
biggest
dude.
market, DFS is like the biggest market because like
See, I'm just
everyone
not good
will
at
play that.
DFS.
I'm horrible at it, but I think I'm gonna have to at least try some of it, and maybe I'll do the tweets where I'm like, this is my lineup or whatever, and then see what it looks like after that day. And then if it's decent, maybe people will start listening to me, and if not, then maybe it's not for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like even if you're not the best at DFS, I feel like writing DFS articles is pretty nice as well, because a lot of times people look at your picks for the article, but like you don't really necessarily have to be like, hey, here are my results. You know what I'm saying? Like you can publish an
True.
article for whatever company and say, all right, here's my DFS lineup for today. Give some picks for quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. And
Yeah.
then at the end of the day, no one's going to be looking at the article and see how well you did.
Go
People are going to
back.
read it
Yeah.
before and try to like formulate their opinions. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's an interesting space. DFS is really interesting because a lot of it's luck and a lot of it's skill, and I think the skill of DFS lies in coming those values with the injuries and stuff. And I feel like
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting. I really do enjoy DFS. I just haven't really dabbled in it too much because a lot of it's betting oriented, and I am broke, so that's
True.
unfortunate.
True. True.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the biggest things I learned through talking to Detroit or Chris or however you want to refer to him as, but was the DFS. Like when I'm looking at DFS, people or when I used to look at DFS, I was always looking at it from like an offensive standpoint. So like, say Devin Singletary was out of game. Okay, like I'm starting Zach Moss. You know what I mean? Because like the
Yeah.
price probably didn't change, but now he's out. He should have the workhorse. But something I didn't look at that he looks at, and I'm sure he has so many other things too, but was like the defensive side. Like when the cornerback one is out that week, You know what I mean? Who's the wide receiver 1 that's going to be lined up there? Or, you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. Or even who's the wide receiver 2, because now the cornerback 2 is covering wide receiver 1.
Mm-hmm.
So now the wide receiver 2 is like being checked by nobody. It's just all kind of crazy. I love how fresh it is. I think that's the biggest thing about it, is that I'm so new to it, similar to like when I first got into Dynasty. It's like that new fresh thing to my brain. So I'm really piqued by it. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, DFS is sick. It's a really interesting landscape because, like you said, it's such a hybrid between normal redraft, like the guys that are studs, but like the week-to-week game is so fun because you're really targeting those matchups a lot more than talent. Like, for example, if Christian McCaffrey's playing like the top rush defense, and then a guy who's lesser, like like Cam Akers is playing like one of the worst, like you're going to take Cam Akers over Christian McCaffrey, which is not normal. Money aside, and taking in money into a factor like DFS does. I mean, guys like Cam Akers, and I mean Akers is valuable, but like the lower guys in the totem pole are worth so much more because the shots in the dark you have to take on DFS are really interesting.
Yeah, and I think the Dynasty aspect actually helps because like before this year, this is my first year doing Dynasty, this is my first year doing Dynasty, and then this is my first off season. So next year is my second year, if that makes sense. So DFS last year was even a little bit easier than it was years prior because I started knowing some of these sleeper guys. Like, I started throwing in Gabriel Davis into some of my lineups and Darnell Mooney, you know what I mean? Like guys I would have never known. Like those are guys when I was used to do DFS that I would just be like, he's got a cool name, or like he's up there a little bit on the depth chart or something. But like now I actually know of them. I know their skill set. Like, so it's really interesting to be able to pick those cheaper guys, the guys who are like at the minimum value. So it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about it. I hope I'm not going off the record or off the course here.
Oh, what course? There's no course in this show. What do you mean?
Oh, okay. Cool.
There's literally nothing. There's no show doc. There's no topic or like schedule thing. As I mentioned earlier, I do like a mock draft. I actually ended up doing that earlier, so like there's no need for that anymore. So like I'm literally just riding the wave for an hour, brother. But it's whatever, dude. But like you said, I think that Dynasty is kind of really important for fantasy players to play, in my opinion, because it adds an extra lens to your perspective of fantasy football. And maybe DFS will do another one because I think actually the next lens I would like to add is Devy, because I don't watch college football that much. And Devy, I mean, you really get a feel for these prospects coming in. You get like a telescope to like look really into the future for these guys. And I mean, by the time the NFL draft runs around, like all these prospects. You've been playing Devy leagues with them for like the last 3 years. It's crazy. But like what you said, like with Dynasty adding to your DFS insight is because guys like Gabriel Davis and Darnell Mooney and Brian Edwards and all these guys who are lower on the totem pole, but you recognize them because the Dynasty community has been fiending for them for months. It's really interesting. And pop quiz: who should the Pittsburgh Steelers take at 24?
The best lineman available.
I want Najee Harris, damn it.
I'd rather get the best lineman available. Second round, hope Javonte's there, or Chuba, or Ramondre Stevenson.
They don't like
in the
Javonte,
third.
From what I heard.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't send the squad to his pro day. They
Oh, did you see there was a guy, I can't think of his name. He's like a beat writer, but he like took the online pro days that they visited and then the real life pro days
it was
that
Tommy
they visited.
Jaggy from Steel Curtain. I work with him.
Oh, okay, sweet. Yeah, I looked at that like board that he had set up where they both hit and then some where they only hit one and how the hit rate is and stuff, and I thought that was super interesting.
Yeah, it was Travis Etienne and Najee were number 1 and number 2 on that list. I think that I really do think it's likely we see them go running back early. I would be happy if they got one in round 1 or 2, just because I feel like it's best for the future of the team. I mean, on offensive lineman would be excellent. I really think we should go some kind of combination of offensive line running back or running back offensive line. One of the two.
Yeah.
I just don't know. With their second round draft pick, I just don't know if any running backs will be on the board. Excuse me, that really line up with the value there, except for Javonte. And like I mentioned, I don't think they like him that much. I didn't see anything in the public media that said that they were interviewing or anything like that, or they went to the pro day. The only person they sent to the pro day was the running backs coach, which obviously is important. But for the pro days for Clemson and Alabama, it was the whole squad. It was the running back coach. It was Tomlin. It was Colbert, or Colbert, how the hell you pronounce their GM's last name. I think Colbert. I don't know.
I think it's Colbert. Yeah.
Yeah, but the whole squad was there, and they interviewed them like twice, and they said they interviewed well. And then another guy I know they like a lot is Trey Sermon out of Ohio State.
Oh yeah.
They've said that he's.
I feel like it's a pipeline, right?
Times.
Ohio State to the Pittsburgh.
Who we got from Ohio State lately? We got Shazier a while ago. Who else?
Yeah. Well. Okay. Well, now you're gonna put me on the spot, but I will get back.
Cameron Hayward. We got Hayward.
Okay, these guys are getting older and older.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. But I mean, yeah, I guess I do like Ohio State guys a decent amount. We have Haskins. It's okay, but I mean, it's something, somewhat of a connection. But Sermon, yeah, they like Sermon. He's had a few interviews with them. I wrote an article for Fansided and Steel Curtain about how I think if they miss out on a running back in rounds 1 and 2, that I think Sermon would be a good addition. Because here's why I like Sermon, right? I don't know how much you like him as a prospect. I think he's solid. But the reason I think he would be a great addition for us is because he would instantly fix our short yardage problem on offense.
Yeah, well, that's the dream, right? I think he's a B. I think he's a B level player.
Agreed.
I like him. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, at 3rd round draft capital, I'm all in. You know, I mean, that sounds fine. Yeah,
I think it's just great because, I mean, if you're gonna have a committee, I would love to have somebody not like Benny Snell and what's his face resigns, the guy who sucks. Kalen Ballage and Anthony McFarland. So like I feel like Ballage and Snell are kind of a balanced running back thing, you know. And
I feel like Ballage actually did really well, though, right?
Oh yeah, no, he was good last year
with the Chargers. But
but our offensive line sucks. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah.
But I think if we're gonna have a committee, I would like to add somebody like Sermon to the mix, because Sermon could be more of our physical runner. Snell and Ballage can kind of do whatever, and McFarland can be kind of the lightning in the bottle kind of dude. And it kind of gives us, I feel like, all the skill sets that you kind of need to form a committee. But that being said, I know Mike Tomlin, and we know the offense they like to run, and they like giving a carries to one running back mostly. So I would really enjoy them drafting a guy like Travis Etienne or Najee Harris. I think Najee Harris is just by far the best fit because he has a true 3-down back skill set, and he's a power runner. I mean, imagine, not trying to make a Jerome Bettis comp at all. He's nowhere like Jerome Bettis, but I mean, like, imagine if a power back like a guy like Jerome Bettis was out there being able to flex out wide and catch passes. Like, he's nowhere as powerful as Jerome Bettis is, but Najee is capable of doing that kind of shit. Like, he's a powerful running back who can run up the middle and bulldoze dudes, and he can also flex out wide in the slot or somewhere like that in 5 wide, like the Steelers like to do with Ben, and get a bit of a wiggle and get open. So I feel like Najee has a nice skill set that really complements the Steelers' play style and what the coaching staff enjoys. And I also think that 24 is like the perfect draft spot for Najee, as far as like his draft stock, in my opinion. I feel like his range is like the late teens to like mid to late 20s. So I think it would be a good pick. That being said, though, if a guy like Darisaw or someone like that falls down the board, I would absolutely rather have him, I think. But I would like to have Najee Harris a lot.
Is he your number 3, Darisaw?
Yeah, he's my number 3.
Yeah. I
like him too. Slater and Darisaw, yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't really have that much depth of the offensive line knowledge.
Me neither. Yeah,
like it's the top 3 dudes, and then just like, you know, there's depth there and they're solid, but we definitely need offensive line for sure. I'm kind of interested as well to see what we do in the 2nd and 3rd rounds. Like I said, I would prefer some kind of combination of running back, offensive line, running back. I wouldn't be surprised if he grabs a tight end in round 3 or 4. Maybe a linebacker. I don't know. There's a lot of like weird depth pieces we need, and I feel like it'll be kind of interesting to see what we do in the middle rounds.
You looking for like a blocking tight end, or
I've
totally out on Eric
mocks.
Ebron?
No, I like Eric Ebron for real life NFL a lot, and I feel like his contract extremely cheap for the value he brings on field. $6 million a year is extremely cheap for how good he is. But I've seen some mocks getting us Tommy Tremble out of Notre Dame.
What is that?
In
like
round 3
pick?
Like 3 or 4.
3.
I think. No, wait, I don't know. I don't fucking know.
It could have been. It could be.
People like
I know like 8 tight ends in this class, and I don't think I've heard of this man.
Yeah, Tommy Tremble, he's a guy out of Notre Dame. He doesn't catch passes very much at all, but people
Yeah.
like his potential. He's a good blocker, essentially. He'd be
Okay.
blocking tight end for us to get some depth with some potential to possibly take over the starting role down the line. People like him a lot because he's a good blocker, and we need a blocker because God knows if you watch JTRB1 play football last year, that man cannot block anybody.
Yeah,
He probably could
pretty
not
rough.
block me. Just kidding. He definitely could block me, but he does not try on blocking reps at all. So I think it'd be really interesting to see what they do there. But
yeah, tight end would be sweet.
yeah, I've my best friend in the world is a Bengals fan, and it's okay. I live in Cincinnati; it's kind of expected.
No, I feel bad for him.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. 3 years from now, I feel like they might be better than us, but it's okay. Once Ben retires, shit's gonna go south real quick.
True.
Hopefully not. Okay, get into that real quick though. I think that. Well, actually, no. I'll get there. But anyway, so like. Okay. I've been talking to a lot of Bengals fans, and I feel like the Bengals as a fan base, not saying the front office feels this way, but the fan base is split 50-50 on Jamar Chase or Sewell.
Yeah, I've seen it I agree. From my, amazing sources. As the Twitter world. Yeah.
Of the Twitter
universe. Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think a lot of people are like, I get that we should take an O-lineman or an elite O-lineman in Sewell, but we could also take like one of the best wide receiver prospects of late and then get a O-lineman at the beginning of the second. And it's like, how much worse is that? You know what I mean?
See, the thing is, I always say to him a few things. Number one, have you ever heard of Andrew Luck?
Yeah.
Two, I mean, he literally got injured last season. I mean, come on.
Right.
Two,
yeah.
The Bengals have a terrible draft track record lately of drafting offensive linemen. They drafted Billy Price in the first round a couple years ago, center out of Ohio State, I believe, and he sucked it up, and he is now back up, and that was like 2 years ago. Last year they drafted a tackle who was injured like 2 years ago they drafted a tackle who was like injured all of his rookie year. Last year he came in and he was solid. And then a couple years before that, they drafted another bust in like the second or third round, I think. But my point being is that he's seen firsthand how difficult it can be to build an offensive line through the draft.
Yeah.
And I feel like if a really good offensive line prospect is there at number 5, he's worth it, man. It's just a safe investment. You can get a good wide receiver in round 2 if you want one.
It's not even like they need one. That's the crazy thing to me.
They don't. Well, they kind of do.
Uzomah was fine.
They need a wide receiver
Higgins
3.
was good. Boyd is all right.
Well, Uzomah's the tight end.
Yeah.
But they need a wide receiver.
Well, I was bringing in Pitts a little bit too, because Pitts is also thrown in that mix.
True.
So,
I wouldn't be mad if they got Pitts. I honestly
Pitts would be better than Chase, I think, from like a team building standpoint. But I mean, yeah, it's tough, man. I don't know.
It is tough. What I was about to say is like, if you get Sewell, you can easily get into wide receiver 3 in the second round. I mean, the wide receiver class this year is so deep. I mean,
I feel like it's deep as heck. Yeah.
That's deep as hell, yeah. Get like Terrace Marshall. I mean, that's problem solved. There you go.
Yeah, like a big guy gets Seth Williams.
Yeah, you get Higgins, Marshall, and what's his face? Tyler Boyd. I mean, that's a great offense. I mean, if you really want some depth, I mean, you can wait until like round 3 or 4, even get like Jalen Darden or something. That'd be fun. I don't know, but like, there's just a lot of receivers available, and I feel like there's just not a lot of Sewells in this draft. That being said, there is a lot of good offensive line prospects, but I feel like the quality is different.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel like I've talked to a few people about it. They say like Sewell would have only been like the offensive tackle like 3 or 4 last year, but the class as a whole is a lot deeper than last year. Like last year's class was a lot more top heavy, and this class is a lot deeper as far as the O-line is concerned.
Oh yeah,
that's
sure.
Based off of solely me asking random people on Twitter and them telling me. So not great sources, but that's how I see it for now.
Yeah, I also think that it's absolutely locked that the Bengals are either going to go Chase, Sewell, or Pitts. Was one of the 3.
Yeah, it has to be.
I don't think there's any way in hell we see some kind of weird upset. I mean, the only guy I think they could maybe like reach on is like Devontae Smith, maybe if they really want a wide receiver, but I don't think it's going to happen. I feel like it's Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I don't think they would want to go against what, like, if they were going to pick a wide receiver, they have to pick the one that the quarterback was asking for. And why wouldn't you if you could? I think I could actually see Slater jump up there, though. Like, if for some reason the Bengals like Slater better than Sewell.
Or if Sewell gets drafted earlier, like at 4.
That's true, too. Yeah, that could happen. Unlikely.
What's up, Tyler? How's it going,
man? Hey, Tyler.
You had a late meeting, man. That's late.
That is true. It is late. Well, he could be West Coast. I don't know where. No, I thought he lived in New York.
Where the hell you live, Tyler? I don't know. Anyway, appreciate you coming through the stream, dude. It's been good so far. We talked a little bit about how we got started in the Twinner universe, and now we're talking about the draft class and offensive linemen and all that jazz. So appreciate you stopping by. What were you talking about, Spence? My bad.
Oh, I don't. Oh, Slater and Sewell.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. They could take either of them. I mean, you talked about them not being the best at it before, so I don't think it's a huge knock if they ended up taking Slater. But yeah. And, we were talking about him going earlier. Sewell being picked before the Bengals. Who would that have even been?
He lives in New York. Oh, I think that maybe. Well, I think it was going to be the Dolphins, but I think the Falcons maybe have an outside shot at drafting Sewell, but I don't really think it's going to happen. I think if anything, the Falcons are going to trade out. I really think the Denver Broncos should make the move up to 4 and get whoever's left of Fields and Trey Lance.
Totally agree. That's the best thing they could ever do.
They need to so bad. That being said, I don't think they're gonna because John Elway's an idiot, and I think they like Drew Lock more than they should.
It's very ironic, isn't it? I swear I bring this up every single time someone talks about the Broncos, but I just can't get past it. Like John Elway is horrible with quarterbacks. Like,
he's the worst.
I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't like tell somebody this like 20 years ago, and they would not believe you for a second. But here we are living and breathing, and it's just miserable.
Yeah, I mean, who's he drafted so far? I mean, was Paxton Lynch, Trevor Siemian.
Obviously Drew Lock.
Drew Lock. I can't remember anything else.
There was McManus, Brandon McManus.
He had Brock Osweiler take over there for a little while. Brandon McManus is a kicker, if I'm not mistaken.
Is he actually?
I think so.
No, he's not. Wait, yeah, he is.
I think so.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, close enough.
Well, maybe they drafted him at quarterback, and he ended up.
They converted him to a kicker.
Yeah, they realized he couldn't do it.
That'd be something.
I feel so bad. Yeah, he is.
Did you see that? Did you see that Trey Lance liked my tweet yesterday?
Oh yeah, I did see that. That
was funny, bro. I think the funniest part about that though was when I tweeted about it, I didn't tag him. So I think so. I worded the tweet.
Oh, he typed it out.
Review it.
Type his name in.
Yeah. I'll get that.
Yeah.
I typed in reviewing the Trey Lance's Chipotle bowl or Chipotle meal that will ultimately describe his draft stock. I'm pretty sure this man typed in Trey Lance draft stock or something like that. It was just scrolling through.
He was like, "Oh yeah, my Chipotle bowl."
He's probably looking to see where people think he's gonna get drafted, and he was like, "Oh, it's good to eat my Chipotle bowl. Yeah, I'll drop a like."
Oh yeah, that was dope. That's so cool. I can't wait. I mean, it's a little ambitious to say it, but I can't wait for the day when one of my tweets gets liked by Jonathan Taylor. I'm gonna lose my shit.
It's gonna happen, man.
It's gonna be the best thing ever. I just hope I'm nervous that he's gonna retweet.
My tweets.
I'm really worried he's gonna retweet that the. Do you know about my charity tweet or whatever?
Yeah. Oh,
my pinned tweet. If he retweets that, and then all of his however many thousand followers are retweet.
You can put a cap.
I don't know. Michelle from Ball Blast.
I don't think I do actually.
Well, she saw it one night or something and ended up saying that she was gonna match it. So I don't know if she's ready for this because it's already, what are we in the off season? It's at almost 300 already. Yeah, Tyler, that was one of the first. Other than that thread I added you in, once you told me that I could DM you for things, I DM'd you to figure out because I originally wanted to be real cheap with it because I was really worried, because I'm broke like you. I was like, I gotta be careful. I might do 10 cents per retweet. And so I hit up Tyler and he was like, nah, do $1, do $1. It's not gonna be good, be as good and stuff if you don't. So
how many
I'm glad he did. The tweet?
Yeah.
I think it's 300 almost. Oh no, I'm really overestimating, but 216.
Tyler said I'm not broke.
Oh, not you. No, I'm talking about Luke. Me and Luke are over here, bro.
I thought you were talking about Tyler too, because you said
no, not Tyler. I don't know his financial situation.
Yeah, I was like Tyler. I feel like Tyler's a baller, dude.
Oh yeah, it has to be. You can't be broke with that hair. You know what I mean?
Dude, I was just about to say the same thing.
You cannot be.
See this man's profile picture? Look at that flow.
Yeah, you can't be broke with that hair.
No. That's $1 million hair, bro.
You'd be homeless. You know what I mean? That's what it would have to be. There's no other option.
Absolutely.
You'd just be spending all the money on shampoo and conditioner.
Yeah. Okay, I'm curious though. You were an early Bitcoin investor? Oh, fuck.
Ooh,
My
smart
man's got big
man.
banks.
How early is
Tyler,
early though, right? Because that thing's up to like what 50 grand a
Tyler,
pop now.
you do not need to tell us how much money you made on Bitcoin, but I want to know how much it was worth when you bought in. Like, we talking like $15,000? Or are we talking like 3,000? Because like there's a big difference there. You know what I'm
Well, we
saying?
can do math. You know what I mean?
You
If
bought
he
it at
tells us 15 and then we just look at it.
2013?
Oh, wow.
Oh fuck! How
How
many did
much are
you
you in
buy?
Dogecoin right now? Let's get into the stock market now.
Oh, okay, that's a good question actually. I
Uh,
actually need to check my Dogecoin. I have like 600 Dogecoin. I'm pretty sure.
that's
I
like
got it
it's
really
like not
cheap
a lot,
though.
right? Yeah.
Got it. I bought it at like 2 or 3 cents. Prices around $50.
Oh my god. I
I hate you,
almost bought Dogecoin when it was at less than 1 cent, and I didn't do it.
dude. I almost did too. It was like in January. I remember it was like about to hit 1 cent, and I was like, I should buy this. Oh my god, it's tanked. Holy shit! How much is it worth right now? My Dogecoin like 2 days ago was worth like $250. Now it's worth like 130.
Oh
This is weird.
no.
I should have sold, dude. I'm in it for the
Nah.
long haul. I'm in it for the
Yeah, I
long
just
haul.
gotta just
Damn,
keep it.
it's down to 20 cents.
Wow, didn't it hit? Yeah, it hit 40, didn't it?
It was at like
Something like that.
45.
I remember people were hoping it would hit 50.
Nice, Tyler. That's crazy, bro. That's a lot.
Yeah, I'm horrible
Tyler,
about this. I just have a 401k. I haven't never invested into a stock like by myself. You know what I mean?
neither my parents aren't really into the stock market and stuff, so I have never received like any advice about it. It's all just been through like social media. So
Oh, perfect.
maybe
That's the
someday.
best way to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh god. But yeah, sorry, I have this banner up. What do we think the top 10 will look like? I actually just did my mock draft 3 today. I think there's going to be 2 possible outcomes. I started saving for retirement at 19. Don't blame you, dude. It's a good time to start.
That is for sure.
Good
Well,
time
I
to
actually
start.
did too. I started investing in. I
Try
mean, I don't know if it counts, but a 401k. You know
just
what
try
I mean?
Wealthfront. Tyler, send that to me. Send me a DM reminding me to check that out. I will. But anyway, what do you think the top 10 will look like? I think there's 2 outcomes. Talking the stock market, bro. Listen, David. We are stock market connoisseurs, okay? Listen,
Oh yeah.
here are my investments over the last year. I've invested in Dogecoin and AMC. Okay. Done.
Oh, a true man of culture. I see.
I am only.
You didn't get into Carnival? Couldn't swing that one?
No. You have a degree in finance? Well, David, if you have any financial advice for me, somebody who barely has any money, and I'm starting a savings account just now this summer. So yeah. Help. Just kidding. I'm fine. I'm just joking. But anyway, I'm really interested to see what the top 10 of the draft looks like actually. So I think there's going to be like 2 possible outcomes here. I think we're going to see a few futures. I think call you? I don't have your number. Why would I call you? Tyler, I can just invite you to the stream. No. It's Spence's time. It's Spence's time. Not right now. I'll talk to you tomorrow. During the we're doing Tyler and I are doing a Pokemon stream tomorrow, by the way. It's gonna be super dope. I'm playing Pokemon Platinum, and Tyler's gonna join me. It's gonna be sick. David, like for financial advice, Tyler, I will. Are you a guru? I'll call you and David. David's apparently a finance degree, so I'll call both of you guys. Anyway, back to the top 10. I think we're gonna see a few possible outcomes. First off, we all know the draft starts at 3, right? I truly believe that the San Francisco pick will spark the way the rest of the top 10 forms for a few reasons. Because I think that if we see Justin Fields go to 3, I feel like it'll be a lot more routine in the sense of what we kind of expect to happen as far as, 4 might be a trade up for Trey Lance, maybe Mac Jones, maybe. 5 will be Sewell or Jamar Chase or Kyle Pitts. I think that's still pretty routine. 6, the Dolphins are probably either going to get Slater, Jamar Chase, or Kyle Pitts, in my opinion.
What about Devontae Smith or Jalen Waddle? You don't think
so? I don't think they're going to reach on that. I think they'll trade out, if anything. Atlanta at 4 is so key. I agree, Tyler. I think they're going to trade out. Whether they take quarterback someone else or trade out is the big move. That is true. I hope they trade up before draft night just for their sakes, so we get a big, better feel of the board. I do agree that also decides the entire draft for sure. It's 3 and 4. Also 7. I keep an eye on 7. I posted a video about this yesterday.
Yeah, Panthers,
Lions.
No, but getting ahead of them.
Yes. Well, I just think that pick has the most potential to be crazy. of the draft because I feel like they can make a lot of decisions. They could draft a quarterback if one falls into their lap. They could draft Kyle Pitts if they wanted to pair him with Hawkinson. They could get Devonta Smith. They could get Jalen Waddle if they want to reach. They can trade back to a team that wants to trade up for Mac Jones or Trey Lance or whoever the hell is on the board. I had a mock earlier that had Justin Fields fall in their lap at 7. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think it's possible. That's why I did it.
Anything is, yeah, that's true.
I'm pretty sure the mock was, I think it was Lawrence Wilson, Mac Jones. The Falcons drafted Sewell at 4. 5 was Jamar Chase. Dolphins got Slater at 6, and then the Lions got Fields at 7. It was really interesting. I just wanted to explore that path to see what would happen.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, it is. What you think? Falcons are taking Pitts?
I agree. Yeah,
it'd be really interesting. I think it'd be a dumb decision, honestly,
because
they need a lot more, and I feel like they could trade back for future firsts and get a wide receiver or a defensive piece that would help them be successful down the line. And then David says, don't think they move off of Ryan if they draft Lance. He sits a year. I agree. I think they don't really move off of Matt Ryan. Personally, it'll be interesting.
I think we're calling the curtain too early on him, right? Like,
I agree. He's only like 35 years old.
Yeah, he's like not that old. He doesn't look that bad. Like, it's not like we're talking about Big Ben. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he's got some legs in him still.
Yeah, for sure. And like, I feel like the only quarterback I would want to take there at 4 if I was the Falcons is Justin Fields. Besides that, I'm getting the hell out of there. Trading back, in my opinion. Tyler says, I think the Falcons like only one of the QBs. I think they're waiting to see who the San Francisco 49ers take. I agree. And if their guy is gone, they'll take Pitts or trade down. I think they should take Sewell or trade down, personally. I think they should just trade down altogether, unless Fields or whoever's there. But we'll see what happens. I agree with what you're saying, though, Tyler, for sure. And
I think they're kind of in win now mode?
Hell no.
The Falcons?
I do not think they should be. That's the thing. I think the Falcons need to scrap it. I think they need to trade Matt Ryan, and I think they need to trade Julio Jones, straight up. Because they're both old.
Like a package deal? That'd be spicy.
It's too much money for a package deal, I think.
Yeah.
Even though it'd be sick. It's too much money invested in the team. Yeah, I agree. I just think that they need to trade them both because they need to get some kind of draft capital and build this thing back up from the roots. They hired a new head coach. I forget who the hell it is, but somebody. And I think they just need somebody else. Arthur Smith loves the 12 personnel, and Hurst was perfect in the 12 with Andrews in Baltimore. That is a good idea, for sure. I definitely get that. I do agree Pitts would be a perfect fit with Ridley and Julio. But, Tyler, the offense isn't the problem in Atlanta, buddy. It's the defense. Their defense sucks. And I think
they do need a running back.
They do need a running back. That'll be second round, in my opinion. I think they could get a second round running back. Like ETN would be great there, in my opinion. It'll be interesting. Arthur Smith's their coach. Who is that? Why don't I not remember
Titans. That? Derrick Henry. The Titans.
Is he the offensive coordinator?
No. Yeah, offensive coordinator.
Who the hell is that? I don't know. I don't remember that hire for some reason. It's blanking on me, Tyler. Ryan is $40 million against the cap, I believe. Yeah, that's a huge contract.
He's been restructured 5 times this year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild. If they can't trade Pitts is the best player available. I'd agree there for sure. Well, I don't know. If you're the Falcons and Trey Lance and Kyle Pitts were on the board, who would you take?
I mean, he caught Pitts, all right.
Yeah, but I don't know. Probably Kyle Pitts. Probably Kyle Pitts. I'm probably overthinking it. Kyle Pitts is a dog. We all know this. He's going to be so freaking good. It's just going to be really interesting to me. I also think that the Panthers at 8 are my favorite spot for Kyle Pitts. I hope he goes there. I just think it makes the most sense. Sorry, Ian Thomas believers. I just think that Kyle Pitts there would be perfect.
There's still Ian Thomas believers?
Yeah, I did a show with one yesterday who said that
oh my goodness.
Like their late round tight end target this season.
Wow.
Interesting.
He's like, yeah, we're just 1 year too early.
Yeah, for sure. Fields is the one I couldn't pass on. I agree. I think if Fields is there, you take him. If not, you trade out. Or at least you try your hardest. But I think they definitely will be able to trade out because, I mean, everyone's going to be wanting a quarterback. Everybody. I mean, some teams that could be trading up. I mean, you're looking at the Broncos, the Patriots, Washington, Chicago, maybe. Hell, I don't think the Steelers are going to try, but if they did, I would not be upset if we could land a good quarterback. You guys think the Jets take Wilson? Yeah, I think absolutely the Jets are taking Zach Wilson. I think everyone around the NFL kind of knows that it's going to happen at this point.
Do you think it's that likely that the Panthers will
I
take
do.
a quarterback after
The Panthers will take a
now they have
quarterback?
Darnold and Teddy? You know what I mean?
No,
For a
no,
while, I think we were mocking Lance
I don't
there.
think
You
they'll take a
know?
quarterback. I don't think the Panthers are going to take a quarterback
Yeah.
at all, unless Fields drops them for some reason. But I don't think that's going to happen at all. I just think Pence is generational. I agree, dude. I need a serious offer to trade down. I also would. I think they will get them though, for sure. Got to be a good value. And David said, I think Teddy will be gone soon. I agree. I think Teddy might get traded on draft night. I think he's a draft night trade candidate, TBH. I'm curious if any players do get dealt on draft night. I feel like we haven't seen a lot of draft night trades recently. Last year, there were barely any. I think it had to do a lot in part with COVID and all that jazz because different offices were more spread out. So there wasn't really as much of a war room feel going on. But I hope we see a lot of action this year. I think the Panthers will take Trey Lance or Fields if they somehow fall.
He cost so much this year. He's a $23 million cap hit this year.
Who?
Teddy Bridgewater.
Damn.
Yeah, that's just
absurd.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He's still a $5 million cap hit in 22 as well.
What's his dead cap if they were to cut him?
20 flat.
They're not gonna do that then.
Yeah. I don't know who's gonna pay for that either. They're gonna have to like pay someone to take him, like similar to like Jared Goff.
Let's pivot off the draft here. We're not here for NFL content fully. We're here for just whatever the hell we want. That's the whole point of this show. So I'm interested to ask you about. Do you like Marvel and stuff? I don't really remember.
Yeah, I actually have the Infinity. I don't know how to tilt.
Oh, you have a gauntlet tattoo?
Space Stone. Yeah.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah.
I like that. That's
the
awesome.
Final Frontier.
Right, the banner back up real quick. JTRB1. Save.
We love banners. We stand banners.
Banners are sick, dude. They bring it all together. But anyway, are you into Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Yes or no?
Oh yeah, I watched every episode.
Hell yeah! Spoiler alert for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, real quick. I'm just gonna issue that spoiler warning. I'll give you a few seconds. Spoiler warning for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The finale comes out tomorrow.
Yep.
What time does it come out tonight? Is it
3 a.m. Eastern?
Shit, I was gonna say if it's 1 a.m. I'll stay up and watch it. But
I just threw that out there because that's when WandaVision's was. But I
believe it's probably 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You have gauntlet receiver gloves? That's hilarious, dude.
That's dope.
But yeah, I'm super excited for the finale. You watch it tonight at 3 a.m. Dude, go for it, bro.
Why not? I have to work in 5 hours, so I'm probably gonna watch it after work.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I kind of want to stay up for it, but I also don't because by the time it'll be over, it'll be like 4:10 a.m. Because I assume this episode will be long. But can we talk about that last episode though? Episode 5 was fucking crazy good.
4 was crazy. 5 was crazy good. 4 was crazy, dude.
4 and 5 were amazing. I liked 5 more than 4 personally. Because I feel like that first opening battle with Falcon, Bucky, against what's his face? Bad Captain America. What the hell's his name? John Walker?
John Walker, yeah.
That fight was amazing. It was
really
so good. I loved it.
I was not that impressed.
You didn't like it that much? I loved it.
It was a little, I don't know. I wasn't everything I was hoping for. Like we just watched this guy literally like, like the shield on my man's like neck area, I'm assuming, or something. And then I think that fight, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that. Not as juicy as I was hoping for.
I thought that fight was awesome, dude. He like ripped Falcon's wings off. So much symbolism. I mean, like he had to like break his arm. There was a lot of mirroring shots to the fight from Captain America and Bucky versus Iron Man in Civil War. Yeah. I just really liked it. I just thought it was super intense, and I thought it was like a top tier MCU fight combat scene, like caliber of the movies, and we got it in the TV show, and I thought it was great. I just loved it. I saw that episode 5 was just so good. I loved all the like return to home stuff he was doing with Bucky, and like there was just so much 100%. Character development.
Exactly. Oh,
I just lagged. What the hell was that?
Yeah,
that's weird. I'm waiting like bad Wi-Fi signals. I'm just lagging, I guess. Anyway, but yeah, episode 4 was also just nuts. I mean, we saw Captain America effectively decapitate somebody. So
That
That
was
was
just
just
crazy. I don't know about you, but I'm not into like comics much at all. Like I know
neither am
John
I.
Walker's he's like a real character
Yeah.
in the comics and stuff. And apparently he's supposed to like start wearing all black once he gets like denounced from being Captain America or something like that. But I was not expecting that at all. That was
Yeah.
crazy.
I think he's supposed to start like a new spin-off, like the Dark Avengers or something. Somebody said.
Oh, okay. That
I
sounds
saw that in
super
a YouTube
exciting.
theory video. Yeah, it's gonna be sick. I just think that the whole potential in general of having like a fucked up Captain America is insane. I'm curious to see what this dinky little shield he made at the end of the episode is gonna be like.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was
I don't
weird.
know. I like the like you said though, the character development was by far like the best out of the whole thing. I thought like between Bucky and Falcon and even Falcon's family and stuff.
Yeah,
Like with
that
the
was great.
kids and like when he's talking to the grandpa, I can't think of his name, the old guy.
Oh,
He's talking to him
Isaiah.
about
That
Isaiah
was
about all that.
pretty
Crazy.
powerful. I also think that the show has done a really good job of tackling like racial issues and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
real life issues.
I've really enjoyed the lens they've put that kind of stuff through, and I feel like the Flag Smashers and the girl, what's her name? Oh gosh, I forget.
Uh
The redhead who's like the leader of the Flag Smashers. I forget her name. Is it
uh
is it Courtney? I feel like it's not Courtney.
no.
What's her name?
Maybe.
Let me look it up real quick. Hang on. I don't think it's Courtney.
Courtney.
Samantha?
Mm. Mm-mm. I hope it's
Flag.
Courtney now, so you can just like
No,
pump
it's
your
not.
fist. I know it's not, but it could be.
What's her name?
What's her name? Something a little weird.
Hang on. Carly.
Carly, yeah,
Carly
that makes sense.
Morgenthau.
Carly Morgenthau,
Um,
that's why, yeah.
That's what it is. I think her character's super interesting. I've seen that she's not getting some criticism for herself. I've seen some people not love the role of the villain of her character, but I think it's really interesting. I think that the art, I really like a kind of anti-hero kind of thing.
I know what you're
and
talking about, yeah.
I think well,
It's like what they did with
necessarily an
Thanos
anti-hero.
in
Yes.
Infinity War.
They make her feel human. I feel
Yeah,
like it's
exactly.
even more human than Thanos, honestly, because I feel like there's
Really?
been times, yeah, I feel like there's been times in this series where I've seen her. I mean, at times when she was talking to Falcon, I mean, she always comes back to the dark,
Oh, yeah.
eventually.
Yeah.
But I feel like in their conversations, I mean, I see some good in her at times, and I feel like it's like it reminds me in a sense of like how in Star Wars, how like how Kylo Ren has like this constant battle of good and evil inside him. I mean, it's different, but and it's not
No,
saying
yeah, that's
like
true. I
flip
see
good,
that.
but like I feel like she has good intentions, but she's doing things. She's
That are
fighting
bad.
for a good cause, but she's doing it through a bad way of doing so. And that's what Falcon Sam talked to her about that time they were talking during the one episode. He was saying that like I'm on your side and I see how you're doing this, but I just can't support the way you're doing it. And I feel like that's exactly the problem with her character is that she's very human. She cares for this like family she has of supporters, and
Yeah.
she's doing a lot of these things to protect the people around her. And she's just doing it through like terrorist kind of tactics, which is fucking everything up. But I think the show is brilliant in the sense of John Walker, the power broker, and these flag smashers. There's just
Yeah, the
so
power
many different
broker.
angles
What do you know about the
that can
power
be
broker?
attacked. I don't really know. I've seen
Yeah,
some
I don't know
theories.
anything about. I
I've seen
haven't
some
heard any.
theories that what's that female agent's name that was good in Civil War and stuff, that the blonde that helped them with Zemo and like those and the like the freight
Oh,
thing. What's her
I
name?
can't think of her name, but I know what you're talking about. The one who
Um,
ended up getting like banished to
Yeah.
that
This is
place.
that one place where everything's where the power broker lives.
Yeah.
I've seen some theories that she's the power broker. I've seen some theories.
Oh, that would
I've
make
seen
sense.
some theories that she's the power broker. I've seen some Agent Carter. Sorry, thank you, Tyler. Appreciate it. Yeah,
Man.
I've seen some theories that she is the power broker. I've seen some theories that she's like the right hand man or woman for power broker.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I think it's really interesting. I think it's really interesting in the arc in general that they're taking with her character, in the sense that she was good and the characters think that she's good, but she's really not. And I feel like the finale, there's gonna be a fuckload of stuff in the finale.
It feels just like
There's gonna be a lot. There's so much building.
Agatha from WandaVision. It feels similar to that, where like you really start to like the character, and then it's like, what the heck? That is not
Yeah.
where I thought you were going.
Yeah,
And
it's interesting.
that place that she got banished to that we can't remember either is like where the X-Men are residing or something during this time.
Oh,
Yeah, apparently that's like where some of the
interesting.
X-Men had to reside during some like war, something in the comics, you know what I mean? Some conflict that happened in the comics.
Yeah.
They had to like stay there, so they might be trying to incorporate them now,
Yeah,
which would
I've
be
seen a
sweet.
ton of stuff in like theory videos about how they're setting up so many possible future spin-offs for Marvel, and it's insane the level of like spin-offs and stuff. They're like dropping like breadcrumbs too, so like, if they ever wanna go into it down the line, they can. Like the Dark Avengers thing with John Walker, that with the X-Men. Obviously, X-Men are coming. We all know this.
Yeah,
There's
I
just so
can't
many
wait.
different things. It's gonna be awesome for sure. I just think that Marvel's doing a great job right now of setting up the next phases of the MCU to have different heroes and different backstories and all this, because I feel like they did such an amazing job of having so many different layers during different stories in the beginning stages of the MCU. Because when the MCU started out with like Hulk and Iron Man and Captain America, I feel like no one really knew the full direction and potential where
Oh, I
it
had
was
no
going. You
idea.
know, it kind of feels like what DC is right now, like where they're just like kind of making movies and trying to like find something.
Yeah,
But now, like they know the formula, and I feel like they're doing a great job of trying to recreate, like building characters and story arcs and all that. That
the power creep.
sprinkle breadcrumbs along the way that we can kind of build upon later. And these huge Avengers crossover kind of movies will be insane down the road, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, I really like when shows implement the power creep well. Like Agatha was not some massive villain that like
Mm,
needed the Avengers to take down. It was very well designed to be handled by the characters in the show. And then I think it's going to be the same thing with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where they are going to be able to handle it themselves. You know what I mean? And I really like that they do that, where it's like with other shows and stuff, sometimes you see that the power creep is just something they focus on so heavily, where they just like ramp, like each episode has a villain and they have to like beat them, but they're so much more powerful, but then somehow magically in like 10 days they become also more powerful as the
yeah.
heroes. So I really like that, how Marvel does that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do a good job of matching up heroes and villains nicely. I'm just super, super excited for the future of the MCU. I'm also really excited to see what they do with Loki, the new Loki
Oh
show.
yeah, that's my favorite. I
That's
saw a
gonna
poll on
be
Twitter was like, which one are you most
really
excited for?
interesting.
Loki all day.
Yeah, before all these came out, I think the one that I was always gonna be most excited for was Loki, just because I think Loki's such an interesting character. I love mythology personally, so I've always liked Loki. I feel like it's gonna be such an interesting show because it's different. Paul Feige said, or Kevin Feige, whoever the fuck his name is, I think Kevin
I think it's
Feige.
Kevin. Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Feige, when he was doing the like the big like intro thing to like the next phases and new shows and stuff, he said that Tyler loves Loki too. He said that Loki is classified as a thriller, which is
Oh, that's
interesting,
perfect.
which I
That's
like a
my favorite.
lot.
Yeah.
I did too. I think it's going to be a lot of twists and turns, a lot of mind fucks, big reveal kind of thing. It's going to be super interesting, and I'm pretty sure this is going to reveal the multiverse, which is going to be super cool.
Wait, is it going to be the
It's just
multiverse or the Spider-Verse?
multiverse, I think, for Loki.
Because they kind of like, I think with the Far From Home, they kind of like they started intertwining it, So I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm interested if in the future they explore the multiverse to the point where if they're interested in bringing Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans back. I don't know if they will, but it's certainly possible with the multiverse coming into play.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Well, and you got the X-Men. I don't know, that it was so weird in WandaVision how they had, what's his name? I can't think of his name. Quicksilver? No. Flat? No. What the fuck?
Yeah, Quicksilver.
Quicksilver. Yeah, it's so interesting how they had the Quicksilver actor play the brother. And so I'm really curious what they're doing with that, like whether that was something that Wanda created or if that was like, you know what I mean? I have no idea where they're going with that, but I'm really interested to see how that works.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really interesting. I feel like it could be nothing, or it could be something that's going to be really important later down the line. I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens with that. I think that overall, I think I liked WandaVision as a show more so far, just because it was so, you had no idea what the hell was going to happen every week, and I really, really liked that. And there was so much guesswork and reveals, and it was really just no one knew what the hell was going to happen. And Falcon and Winter Soldier is also excellent for my standards. I think they're both top tier pieces of Marvel Cinematic Universe content. I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a lot more traditional in the sense of the MCU, what you kind of expect, especially like, Captain America vibes. But I've really enjoyed the series, especially episodes 4 and 5. Just exploring, dude. Major props to the actor that's been playing John Walker. I don't know his name, but
yeah, he's played it very well.
He's made that character really, really interesting and given him so much depth. And I think that death scene of Battlestar, I forget his name, I think it was Lamar. The death scene of his friends after that, where he just freaks out and then goes and kills that guy. That was incredibly done, and I think they just killed it with the show.
How cringe was it though when he like telling the parents, and I think that was his sister or whatever.
Oh yeah,
that, like,
I mean,
I avenged your brother. I don't know what they're doing with that, because I think they were alluding to the fact that like John knew that he didn't actually avenge him, but then he's like suppressing it or something, and maybe it'll come up in episode 6.
I think they were just trying to show that his mental state, he's just in denial. He's just in denial. He's just doing whatever he can. We have some new viewers. We have 7 viewers. We were just at 3 a second ago. Just spoiler warning, we're talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Just a heads up. I don't want anyone jumping in the middle of this who hasn't caught up yet and to get pissed. Sorry, guys. But anyway, I just think that I don't know. I just really like the layers this show has, and I think the finale is going to be crazy. Like, I think we could see that there's some huge. I mean, we have the Power Broker who's going to come into play. We have the Flag Smashers who are attacking the New York Capitol. And we have John Walker, who's definitely coming back at some point and might be working with the Power Broker to do some kind of, thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I saw in a theory video that the lady in the black suit with the hair that came up to John Walker on the bench next to his fiance.
Oh,
yeah. I saw some theories that she is she's a comic book villain, called like Miss Hydra or something. Like, she's a Hydra agent.
Oh, okay.
So she's like working with Hydra and stuff. She's gonna do some she might be like the one who's like assembling the Dark Avenger. She might be the Power Broker. I honestly don't know. I saw a theory video, and when she handed him that business card that was blank, if you remember that,
yeah,
they were saying like that's just a sign that she is a part of Hydra, and then just shows you like how deeply buried that Hydra is right now because no one even knows they exist. Stuff like that. It's just, I think it's gonna be really interesting. I actually really enjoyed the cameos from the characters from Black Panther as well. I thought that was
that was great.
I loved the scene with Bucky and the warrior from Black Panther when she was doing like the kind of like hypnosis thing with Bucky to like cure him of his Winter Soldier word commands. I thought that was
really nice cool to get that little backstory for sure.
Yeah,
what do you think about them taking Zemo away? You think we're gonna see more of Zemo, or is he kind of done for him?
See, I liked that, but I would have enjoyed it more, honestly, if they just let Zemo go into the wild, and just let him be out there as an external threat again, because I feel like Zemo is I think he's a really good villain, honestly.
Oh yeah, he's so interesting. I really
like him. Yeah, he's so interesting because he's so intelligent.
And he has like morals, but they're messed up.
I think the thing about Zemo that's interesting is that he's not the smartest in the world, like Thanos or those kind of dudes, but he is a master manipulator.
Yeah, he's like cunning.
Exactly. He's cunning. He'll get exactly what he wants out of you without you even knowing he's doing it. And I think it's just such a smart character. I think he's extremely fun to see written into stories. And I feel like Zemo is he's an awesome villain. I really, really liked him in Civil War a lot.
Yeah. Have you ever seen White Collar? Like an older TV show on like USA? No. Or what about Catch Me If You Can?
I've seen that movie.
It's a movie? Yeah, okay. So the White Collar is just a movie or a TV show based off of that movie. It's like the aftermath. Like, it's all about stories that are what the prisoner does while he's under the program with the detective. But Neil Caffrey is like the actor in that, and he's like the same way. So like, and I love that show. So it's almost, I love finding those like little intricacies or whatever. Like when you find someone where you can like relate them to other people you've liked during, so I'm pretty excited about what Zemo is going to do in the future of the MCU.
Yeah, agreed, man. All right, I try to keep things this show about to around an hour. I mean, it's already 1 a.m. I don't want to keep it too late, but To wrap things up real quick, I mean, you want to plug your stuff, man? I mean, I know you got a podcast coming soon. You're doing a bunch of content and stuff all the time. Follow this man on Twitter. His handle is at JTRB1 on Twitter. Make sure to follow him. He's an awesome follow. Definitely will be putting him in a follow Friday here, like now. I don't know. I'll tweet it out. But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on as always. It's a pleasure. So yeah, why don't you go ahead and plug your stuff and we'll wrap up, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and thanks for having me on. I'm writing over at Yards Per Fantasy right now. It's been pretty awesome. We got like the picks going out, and we're actually starting fantasy leagues soon through the Yards Per website. So like you can play with us or anything you want to do with that. And then the podcast Fantasy Weather Show is going to be coming out soon. We'll probably record our first episode Saturday. So super excited about that. And then obviously, like you said, my Twitter, JTRB1. That's where I'm always at. So you can find me there. All
right. Well, appreciate everybody watching tonight. It's been a great chat. Tyler and what's his name? David. Yeah, King David. Appreciate you, dude. Thank you guys so much for watching the stream tonight. And I'll see you guys next time. Spence, I hope we collab soon again, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, 100%.
Have a good one, everybody. Thanks for coming out to the late night show. If you're watching a replay, I love you anyway. Goodbye.